In a bit of a shocker, Theo Epstein has stepped down as the president of baseball operations for the Chicago Cubs. What does this mean for Theo Epstein in the future? What does this mean for the Chicago Cubs? We're going to get into it. Let's see if the intro works today. Let's go.
Wake up the Don Bambino and have me face him. Maybe I'll drill him in the ass.
And what is going on, baseball fans? How are we doing? It looked like the intro worked today. All right, sweet. We're off to a good start. Alrighty, everyone. How are we doing? Hello, hello. I'm seeing some familiar faces in the chat. What is going on? Welcome, welcome. I tried playing that intro on last night's stream, and I don't know what the heck happened to it. It just, I don't know. It just stopped working. But it looked like it went well today. I hope you all enjoy the intro, and I'm very glad to say that it looked like it worked. So, alrighty. But yeah, the big news today. There wasn't really much news at all today. To be honest, I didn't even know if I was even going to be going live tonight. I was checking my phone. I'm a teacher, for those of you that don't know. And, whoa, my chair just completely, did everyone just see that? I just dove down. My chair just completely almost broke. Oh my God. I'm gaining too much weight, I guess. But I was at recess today. I'm a teacher, for those of you that don't know. And while my kids were all frolicking around playing on the jungle gym, my phone buzzes. I look at the phone. I see it's some baseball news. I figured maybe, something small. I take a look. Theo Epstein leaves the Cubs. And as a Red Sox fan, I have a personal connection to Theo Epstein. Theo Epstein was the guy that helped orchestrate that Red Sox championship in 2004. Sure, Dan Duquette kind of helped a little bit with that Red Sox team as well. He brought in a few key pieces. But Theo Epstein was a guy that really kind of helped finish it off for that 2004 team. And then for 2007, he really helped orchestrate that team as well. And then he helped bring in some pieces along the way before he ended up leaving in 2000 at the end of the 2011 season, and then they ended up winning in 2013. So Theo Epstein had a little bit to do with that 2013 team as well. So Theo Epstein, to me, I have a very soft spot in my heart for Theo Epstein. I will always love Theo Epstein, and I was very, very excited to see what he could do with the Cubs when he went there in 2012. And I thought, hey, the first thing you thought was, well, he helped end the curse in 2004 for the Red Sox. I mean, what better guy, for the Chicago Cubs, at that time? And look what ended up happening. Helped end that curse, helped end that winless drought for that World Series title in 2016. Huge moment, probably the biggest sports moment that year. And but now here we are, 2020, after 9 seasons, Theo Epstein has stepped down as the president of baseball operations. So, that is really kind of what this is going to be all about tonight. There's really no other news to talk about. So that is the big news. So here, let me pull up an article for all of us to go take a look at. Here we go. So Theo Epstein stepping down here. Let me share my screen. So here we go. I mean, really, there really wasn't much to it, honestly. He kind of, talked about how he really cherished his time with the Cubs. He said it was very tough to leave. But one thing about Theo Epstein, he kind of stated in that press conference today. You can go to MLB.com and watch that. I would play it, but I don't want to get any copyright stuff or anything. So, but Theo Epstein, the one thing that he said was, and he said this a while ago too, he said this where he feels like with when he's with a team, he feels like there's around like a 10-year lifespan, like around that kind of amount of time, maybe like 8 to 10 years. I forget the exact amount that he said, but kind of roughly around that. So he was with the Red Sox for just under 10 years, and then he was with the Cubs for just under 10 years. He said he felt like that it just felt like it was time to move on. You know, it felt like he had kind of done what he went to Chicago to do. He has set them up decently for the next few years to where he can kind of hand it off to now the new president of baseball operations, Jed Hoyer. But another interesting thing that Theo Epstein said was he kind of has this thing where he likes to go to teams, and he kind of has like that. The thing that gets his juices going is going to a team and getting them kind of out of that gutter a little bit, and kind of getting them out of that heap that they're in, and kind of help revitalize that organization and win a championship. So that's what he did in Boston. That's what he did in Chicago. And so with the Cubs, you know, after they won in 2016, it feels like they've just been stagnant for the last 4 seasons. 2017 couldn't really do anything, got knocked out by the Dodgers that year. 2018 couldn't get anything going. 2019, a bit of a disappointment. 2020, again, a disappointment, and they made it to the playoffs this year, but they got knocked out by the Marlins, a team that probably shouldn't have even been there. So again, they've kind of had this same core group of guys where, and I've been saying this since the offseason has started, the Cubs are kind of just this weird team where they kind of have these good pieces, but it's just like not good enough to get them to a championship. And if you look at their farm system, I think a lot of people would say, the Cubs have some good pieces in that farm system, but overall, it's not a very deep farm system. They rank in the bottom half of all the farm systems in Major League Baseball. They have a couple of guys to keep an eye out for. We'll go take a look at the depth chart here. We'll go take a look at some prospects here in a second. But with the Cubs, they're in a bit of a weird spot where they have some guys that they're coming up on free agency. They got a couple of bad contracts there, not great contracts. They have some younger guys. They do have some good pieces for the next few years that can help keep them in contention. So in this video today, I'm going to go over the few options that the Cubs have. So I might as well just get right into that. So the first thing that the Cubs could do, they could just go complete fire sale mode. They could just be like, you know what? Let's just get rid of everyone. Anyone that has value, let's go Miami Marlins mode. Let's just sell off everyone. Our fans are probably going to hate us for a couple of years, but if we can get some good prospects back, then hey, let's do it. So let's go into this mode. Let's see what this would be like. So let's take a quick look at what we're kind of working with here. With the Cubs. Sorry about that. I picked the wrong one. Here we go. So taking a look at what the Cubs are working with. Let me zoom in a little here. Is that a little better? Let me see what it looks like on here. No, that's kind of cut off. Hold on. Let me fix it here. If I just slide it over, let's see what that looks like. Let's see. All right, that's a little better. So as you can see, with the Cubs, they kind of have some odd pieces here where Jason Hayward, he's obviously right now costing the most. He has this huge contract, 8 years, $184 million. They got Yu Darvish, who actually is on a pretty decent deal. They have him for the next few seasons. Can I scroll over? Where is the bar to scroll over? Why can't I scroll over? Whatever. Let me zoom back out just a little. Okay, that actually should be good. Let's see what that looks like. All right, yeah, that's good. So, Yu Darvish, I actually like the contract that Yu Darvish has. It's not very expensive. He's their ace. That's a pretty decent contract for an ace, honestly. And they have him until the end of the 2023 season. That's pretty good if you ask me. Kyle Hendricks is going to be there for a few more seasons. He does have an option for 2024. So the fact that they have Darvish and Hendricks there, that's pretty good. But then they got a bad contract here in Kimbrel. This year he has the $16 million that's coming on the books, but then there's a team option for 2022, which I would imagine the Cubs would decline. So But after that, I mean, there's not really too much here. The big thing that we're kind of looking at, I don't want to click on Dan Winkler. Why am I clicking on Dan Winkler? So the big thing that we're looking at here, we're looking at these 4 guys. We got Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant, Javier Baez, Kyle Schwarber. So these are kind of the 4 big names that you would imagine would get the most value back. Anthony Rizzo, he's going to be a free agent coming up after the... wait, is he a free agent now? No, he's not a free agent. He's a free agent after this season, right? Is he a free agent now? No, he's not a free agent now. He still has another... Right? I could have sworn Anthony Rizzo was... No, he's not a free agent. I guess that's after this season. So, yeah, that's after the season. So, yeah, Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant, Javier Baez, Kyle Schwarber. These guys, I think, could give you some decent prospects back. Now, the question is really what could you get for Chris Bryant? I mean, sure, you could trade him. A team would be interested in bringing him in. But are you really... Are you really going to bring anything back for Bryant? Probably not all that much. I think with Bryant, I think the best thing to do would be to hang on to Chris Bryant until the trade deadline. I think he's kind of digressed a little bit in the past few seasons. Let's actually go take a look at kind of how he's been doing in the last few years. If we take a look, he's just had some injuries in the past couple of years. Like 2019, he had a pretty good year. But then 2018, he was kind of dealing with some stuff. This past year, he was dealing with some stuff. It's not really these kind of stats that kind of jump off digression-wise. It's more of the advanced stats that people kind of worry about. So if we go take a look at Baseball Savant with Chris Bryant, his advanced metrics were not very good this past year. Come on, Baseball Savant, help me out here. So as you can see here, low numbers all the way across. Just really not good. Bottom of the barrel kind of advanced stats here. Exit velocity way down. Hard hit percentage way down. I mean, even in the field, not even great in the field. He was having some injuries, so it's not the most fair to kind of look at it that way. But if you take a look at hard hit percentage, if we go back here, look at 2015. He had a 43.3 hard hit ball percentage. And then ever since then, it's kind of just digressed, right? It went down to 39%, 2016. Oh, we got something going on. Someone subscribing. Amazing Baseball Plays has just subscribed. Thank you for subscribing, my friend. Welcome to the channel. But yeah, as you can see here, the hard hit ball percentage has kind of just decreased. 2019, he bounced it back. It bounced back a little bit. He had a pretty good season in 2019. But overall, if you take a look at the barrel percentage as well, 2015, he was awesome. And then in 2016, he was really good too. But then as you can see here, the barrel percentage, it kind of lingered around here. And then 2020, it just really just dove off. Like, it just not good last year. So that's kind of where people are getting a little concerned with him, is the hard hit balls are down, the barrels are down. So it's not really the stats so much. It's more of just the advanced kind of stuff to where, and I'm wondering if maybe he's had some injury. Like, obviously I think he was dealing with a wrist problem this past year. I could be wrong on that. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong on that. Oh, we got something else going on. What is going on here? Kanan Strick has just subscribed. Welcome to the channel, my friend. Hello, hello. But Chris Bryant, the thing with Chris Bryant is, I just wonder if a team, they're going to be a little hesitant with him sure, I don't doubt that teams would not want to bring him in. I mean, sure, why not? But the problem is, are you going to get a lot back for him? So I kind of wonder if the Cubs are they're probably going to end up hanging on to him, because I think if he can really prove himself in the first half of the 2021 season, I think, oh my goodness, we got a subscriber party going on right now. Stephen Furlong just subscribed. Welcome to the channel, my friend. Hello, hello. But I'm kind of wondering if they do hang on to him for this first half of the season. Maybe he can prove himself a little more. And we'll have to see how that goes, because he did not have a good 2020 season. That was just a lost season, really. So, but yeah, we'll have to see how Chris Bryant does. If we go take a look back at the other guys, I would expect right now I mean, sure, you could trade Chris Bryant, but you're really not going to get a lot for him. There are teams that could use a third baseman, but really, realistically, I don't know. I don't see you getting much for Chris Bryant. Now, if I take a look at a guy like Javier Baez, I think Javier Baez is actually a guy that you could get a decent amount for. He's 27 years old. Let's pull up Javier Baez on Baseball Savant. So Javier Baez, kind of the one thing I have with Baez is that I don't like the on-base percentage very much, but I think overall he's one of the best gloves in the game. I think shortstop-wise, he's one of the better shortstops in the game. I definitely think a team that could use a shortstop, to me, immediately, if anyone is just coming in, I just posted about an hour ago, I posted my video on how to fix the New York Yankees. I think Javier Baez would be a great fit with the New York Yankees. If they decide to move over Gleyber Torres over to second base, then you could bring in Javier Baez to play shortstop. That would immediately improve a really weak area defensively for the Yankees. Javier Baez, I think, would be a great fit with the Yankees. That would also mean you're not going to bring back DJ LeMahieu. I think that would be a pretty tough loss, but in the long run, I don't think it would be the worst loss. I mean, he's not getting any younger. Obviously, you would really miss out on a couple of good years from him. He still has a few good years left, I think. But he's probably going to be wanting a long contract. So I think if the Yankees, I think it would hurt a little if they didn't bring him back. But if you can bring in a guy like Javier Baez, 27 years old, to play shortstop, I think, that could end up being pretty good. But Javier Baez, again, the exit velocity, he did rank pretty well in the exit velocity and the hard hit percentage. He ranked in the top half. You'd like to see the barrels be a little higher, but it was just kind of the overall stats that I didn't really like very much. On base percentage this year was pretty bad. Only hit 203. He did have 8 home runs. He had 24 RBIs. I mean, the OPS is really bad, 599. Not very good. But overall, this is a guy where, if you take a look, in the last few seasons, he's had some really good hard hit ball percentage. Definitely better than Chris Bryant, and that's for sure. He's had some good barrel percentages in 2018, just a couple years ago. He had some good barrel percentages. And the Yankees, I was talking to my best friend who's a big Yankees fan, and he was telling me that the Yankees, they do really well bringing in guys who kind of are struggling with the bat a little bit, and they can kind of help turn them around. They have a good coaching staff, and I think Javier Baez could benefit from going to that Yankees team. I think this could be a good fit. I think the Yankees definitely could jump in on a guy like Javier Baez. I don't see why not. He's still pretty young. That is someone I think that that teams would be interested in. If we go take a look at some teams that need some shortstops, if we go take a look for shortstops, here we go. All right, so teams that could really use a shortstop, I'll just kind of take a look offensively. I don't see him going he wouldn't go to the Pirates. He wouldn't go to the Reds. I mean, maybe the Rangers, they could use a shortstop. I know they got a young shortstop that's coming up. I'm kind of going blank on his name right now. Maybe. I don't see the Twins. They got Royce Lewis. I don't see the Astros. Maybe the Athletics. I don't know. He's probably going to be wanting a decent-sized contract. I mean, maybe the Athletics. I don't know. I don't know. They like defense, so maybe the Athletics could end up being a decent fit. Now they're not getting Marcus Semien back. Cardinals, no. Brewers, no. Mariners, probably not. Indians, no. Blue Jays, maybe. You could maybe see the Blue Jays going after a Javier Baez. You can have Bo Bichette move over to third base. I think that could actually be pretty decent. Javier Baez in a Blue Jays uniform. I mean, maybe the Mets. Maybe. I don't know if they would have really the prospects that the Cubs would want. I don't know. I mean, I could maybe see that, Javier Baez on the Mets. I don't think that would be a bad option. But he would definitely improve their defense at shortstop, and that's for sure. But they have Andres Jimenez. I mean, so I don't know. That would be, I don't know. Unless you have Jimenez move over to second, I don't know. But I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's some teams here. I mean, definitely not the Dodgers. They got Corey Seager. Not the Nationals. Yeah, so those teams are all set there. I mean, maybe the Angels. You could maybe see the Angels. Now with Simmons out of there, maybe the Angels would want to bring in a Javier Baez. So there are some teams out there that would be interested in a guy like Javier Baez. The one good thing, even though the offense was a little down, yes, it was 60 games, so I'm not going to put too much stock into that, but he has a great glove. He's one of the best shortstops in the game. So I think Javier Baez would be a great addition to a lot of teams. I think the Angels could be a great fit. The Phillies could be a good fit. There's a lot of teams that could use a Javier Baez. So that's where, to me, I think Javier Baez could be, out of all of these players that the Cubs have, Javier Baez, I think, would probably get the most interest, in my opinion, just because he's not too old. He's 28. He's in his prime. Kyle Schwarber, I think, could be really interesting. Kyle Schwarber. This is a guy where I think it really depends on what happens with this designated hitter in the National League. I don't know what's going on with it. I've been hearing that's probably not going to happen. They're probably not going to bring it back. I'm personally in favor for it. I can't stand pitchers hitting. I know some people like pitchers hitting. That's just me. I like seeing more bats. I understand the strategy of it. I can see where people find it fun. Personally, though, I want to see more at bats. I think it gives guys like Kyle Schwarber more opportunities, gives flexibility more in lineups. That's why I like it. So Kyle Schwarber, this is a guy, you know what you're getting in Kyle Schwarber. You're going to get power. You're going to get RBIs. And I think this would teams could really benefit from this. So let's just say left field. Who are some teams that could use more production in left field? If the Braves aren't going to bring back Marcell Ozuna, maybe you could see the Braves go after a Kyle Schwarber. They got some prospects that I think could entice the Cubs. Taking a look at offensive production. So who are some teams that could use... Did I pick left field? Yeah. So how much did he play left field? Let me actually go take a look at this real quick. Did he play a lot of left field this year? I know they had the DH. Let me actually go take a look. Kyle Schwarber, what the heck were you doing this year, my friend? Taking a look here. Fielding. He actually played a lot of left field. Oh, wow. Did he really even DH all that much? Well, he played 48 games in left field. Okay, fine. He actually did pretty... Hold on, let me go to the advanced. -3 defensive runs saved. Is negative 0.8 UZR. How is the defensive runs above average? Negative 3.7. So, you're kind of getting like a Marcell Ozuna in a way. Just a bit less of a bat. But you're getting a lot of power with Kyle Schwarber. So, taking a look, who are some teams that could use some more production in left field? I don't know what the heck the Rangers are doing. They don't need to be trading away any kind of prospects right now. I don't see that. Maybe the Indians. I don't know. I think the Indians could really use some offense. I think Kyle Schwarber on the Indians could end up being pretty good. He's not a lot of money. How much is he making? Wait, hold on. Let me go back to that. He's going into his last year, or how many years he has one more year of arbitration. And then, so 10 million, I guess. So maybe the Indians would be interested. You could maybe see the Phillies. I don't know about that. Yankees, probably not. I don't think the Yankees would want that. Kyle Schwarber in Coors Field, that could be really fun. Could you imagine that power bat in Coors Field? Oh, that would be fun. I don't know. I could maybe the Twins. You can see something like that. Maybe that power could really help out with the Giants over in that field. Again, maybe. I don't know if the Angels. I think the Angels could be maybe a good fit. Well, they have. I'm going blank on his name right now. Justin Upton. So they got Justin Upton on that big deal. So I don't know if they would bring in Schwarber. I don't know about that. But Justin Upton, I think, is a free agent after this year, I think. I'm not quite sure there. But there are some teams that could use, maybe the Diamondbacks. I don't know. Well, they got David Peralta, so maybe not. I don't know. Maybe the White Sox. That could be interesting. Even more offense there. So there are some teams that could really use a Kyle Schwarber. Definitely some teams that could use some offense. So, and then kind of getting to the last guy here, Anthony Rizzo. So Anthony Rizzo, one of the best first basemen in the game. You could get a lot for Anthony Rizzo. I think if out of all these guys, I think Anthony Rizzo would bring in the most. Anthony Rizzo is one of the best players in the game today, in my opinion. At least one of the best first basemen. overall, I mean, again, when I look at this 2020 season, this season was just weird. I mean, like a 755 OPS, that's quite the drop off from what he's usually doing. So I don't know, 2020, I'm not really taking too much stock into this past year. But either way, he still had a lot of home runs, RBIs. So he won a Gold Glove. I think Anthony Rizzo would get a boatload back. The question is what teams could use him? So what teams could use a first baseman? So now if we take a look at some offensive production from first base, did I pick first base? Yes, I did. Again, God, the Rangers were just so bad all over the place. I don't know, probably not the Rockies. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Who do the Rockies have at first base right now? They had they had Daniel Murphy, Josh Fuentes. So I don't know, maybe Anthony Rizzo could be interesting. I don't know do the Rockies have really, I don't think the Rockies have a bad farm system, so they could maybe do something there. Man, Anthony Rizzo. I believe Carlos Santana is now a free agent. So maybe Anthony Rizzo to the Indians. The Indians got a lot of prospects. Maybe the Indians would be enticed for maybe 1 year of Anthony Rizzo. I don't know if they'd want to pay him. Probably not if it's only going to be for 1 year. Not the Athletics, as they got Matt Olson. Maybe the Twins. That could be interesting. Who are the Twins? They got Miguel Sano. Yeah, so probably not. No, they already have someone there. I don't know. There's just, there's not really a lot of landing spots. Maybe the Nationals, that could be a good fit. So Eric Thames, I don't think he's coming back. Is Eric Thames coming back? I think he's a free agent, right? I'm pretty sure Eric Thames is a free agent. Let me take a look at that. Eric Thames contract. I think he's a free agent. Yeah, so he's a free agent. Maybe the Nationals would be interested in an Anthony Rizzo. The Nationals are kind of in a weird spot. I don't know if they would want to bring in Anthony Rizzo. I think that would be a pretty good fit if you ask me. Sorry, am I saying Thames? Sorry. I thought it was Thames. Anyway, I thought the H was silent. Anyway, but so Anthony Rizzo, I think there are some teams that would be interested in a guy like that. There's a lot of things that the Cubs could do. They got these 4 guys right here that they could just ship out. Maybe Chris Bryant, maybe not so much. I definitely think you could trade him. The question is, are you going to get a lot for him? Probably not. But I think for Kyle Schwarber, Javier Baez, Anthony Rizzo, I think you could get a decent package for all of those. Now, the question is, would you consider maybe trading a Yu Darvish? That is an interesting one. Do you just want to blow up this whole thing? Just get rid of everyone? You would get a decent amount back for Yu Darvish. I don't know. I was looking at baseball trade values the other day, and they don't have Yu Darvish at a very high value. And I was kind of surprised about that. If I actually go to baseball trade values, again, if you don't know what that website is, it is fantastic. They got a lot of good stuff going on here. It's so good. You can just come up with all these simulations of different trades. So, if I were to go take a look at the Cubs, right? So taking a look, Cubs, I try to post a lot of trades on here, and I get a lot of downvotes all the time. So I guess I need to improve on my trading abilities. I guess that means I'm not going to be a general manager anytime soon. But if I were to take a look at teams that could use some starting pitching, the first team to me that comes right off the bat, the Yankees could use some starting pitching behind Garrett Cole. If you were to put together a package here of Yu Darvish, taking a look here, Darvish, yeah, they only have him at a value. So in case you're not really sure, so if I were to take a look at so each player has a value, and they have baseball trade values has like this algorithm, right? So Hendricks has the highest value on this team, so 45.9. So for reference, if I were to show you real quick, like the highest rated player right now, what is going on? My computer just froze. Oh, here we go. So Ronald Acuna Jr. has the highest value right now at 277.3. So pretty much you're not going to be trading for a Ronald Acuna Jr. So, but now if we're taking a look at a guy like Yu Darvish going to the Yankees, who could the Yankees give up for a Darvish? I think you could put something together. I think this value for Darvish is a little low at 20. I don't know about that. 20 seems a little low for me if you ask me. I mean, he's on a pretty decent contract. He's got a few years left. So, I mean, he is getting up there in age, so maybe that's kind of where they're factoring it in. But with the Yankees, honestly, hey Hayden, what's going on? How are we doing? So you got some options here. Maybe you could get like an Oswald Peraza. You got where's Florial here? You got Estevan Florial. So you got a couple of good prospects here. If we were to take a look at the Yankees' top prospects. And I'm not going to sit too long on this. I'm kind of just showing all of you just for reference of maybe what you could do. But if I were to take a look, the Yankees right now, they could, right now this is a pretty, at least on here, this is a pretty even trade. Where if the Cubs were just wanting to go full fire sale, this is pretty even. I think the Yankees would have to give a little bit more. But if you take a look, so the Yankees, they would have to give up their number 4 and their number 7 prospect, right, to get a Yu Darvish. Now, I think you would have to give up a little more. Maybe you could throw in a Miguel Andujar. A Miguel Andujar could maybe, he's a young player coming off of a second place finish in Rookie of the Year voting a couple of years ago. He needs a fresh start. Maybe you could throw in a Miguel Andujar. Maybe you could throw in a pitching prospect. I don't know. I mean, the Yankees got a decent pitching prospect here. Maybe you could throw in, where is he? I don't know. Maybe like a Gomez or a Vizcaino, something like that. They're kind of far away. They're at single A. You got Luis Medina. The number 11 prospect. I don't know if Clark Schmidt, Davy Garcia, those are probably going to be overkill at that point. Luis Gil, maybe. You could maybe throw in a Gil. I think maybe a trade like this could maybe get it done. If the Cubs were going full just fire sale mode, they just want to get prospects, you could maybe get a few good prospects here for Yu Darvish. So I don't know, there's like a lot of other things here that the Cubs could do. Taking a look, I don't know, take away. So if I were to go back to someone like a Javier Baez, I actually posted a trade. I'll actually show you the trade that I posted. Gotta log in. Here we go. So I actually posted this trade. Oh, wow. I actually got some thumbs ups on it. So I actually posted this on my video that I posted on how to fix the New York Yankees, to where I posted this trade, Javier Baez and a Rowan Wick. As you can see here, Javier Baez only has a 7.1 value, which is not very high. So, but if the Yankees wanted to kind of, put together a little package here, maybe Miguel Andujar, Estevan Florial, a Luis Medina, and you get it back like a Javier Baez and a Rowan Wick, you could maybe have something here. So finally, I'm getting some thumbs up on this website. I always get down votes on this website. So, as you can see here, I got 7. I'll tell you right now, baseball trade values, the trade boards, they are tough they are a tough crowd. I'll tell you that right now. They are hard to make happy. It's not just me. There's a lot of other people that get downvoted too. So, so this is kind of what you're looking at. I think you could see some other teams really jump in, play around on this website. It's really fun, especially with the Cubs. If you're to go take a look at the trade boards right now, let's take a look at what some other people, I'm sure a lot of people, what you'll notice on this website, especially like when you hear rumors and whatnot, you'll see a lot of people focus in on that specific player, and all of a sudden you got like all these trade ideas. So like at the trade deadline, this is a really fun website. So like another one right now, like, if someone suggested this Padres Pirates trade for, Joe Musgrove, people are kind of split on that one. But, if we're to take a look here, let me actually just go here to the Cubs. I'm sure there's a lot of Cubs trades right now. I'm sure a ton of them were posted today. But again, like, so like maybe a Yu Darvish to the Blue Jays. You could get a couple of prospects back for him there. And that's not a bad package if you ask me. A mega deal right here. Cubs getting all of this and the Braves getting Chris Bryant and a Kyle Schwarber. That could be interesting. That's another thing too. Maybe you could trade Chris Bryant. You can get like a kind of a bad contract, like an Ender Inciarte. I think I'm pronouncing that right. There's like a whole bunch of different things here. Chris Bryant, Yu Darvish to the Blue Jays. Kyle Schwarber, I mentioned that earlier, Kyle Schwarber to the Rockies. That could be really fun. The Yankees getting Chris Bryant and Kyle Hendricks. As you can see here, this was downvoted. Maybe the Mets getting Chris Bryant and Yu Darvish. Actually, this was actually really liked. Look at this trade. The Mets getting Chris Bryant, Yu Darvish for J.D. Davis and J.T. Ginn. I don't know. That could be maybe interesting. A lot of people like that trade. So there's another trade that was really liked. Chris Bryant, Craig Kimbrell, Alec Mills, and some cash to the Mets. The Cubs get a good little package here of some players. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. Here's the one that I posted. Go play around on here. Chris Bryant to the Blue Jays could be interesting. The Cubs, they have the pieces here to kind of go, full fire sale mode. So tell me what you think. Do you think the Cubs should go full fire sale mode? Do you think they should just trade everyone? Let me know in the chat. Give me a thumbs up if you think the Cubs should just go fire sale mode, just like the Miami Marlins have done in the past however many years now, 10, 20 years. Let me know in the chat. Do you think the Cubs should just get rid of everyone? Get rid of anyone that has any kind of value. Should the Cubs just completely just blow it up? What do you think? Hayden with the thumbs down. Nick saying yes. Sean saying no. BZ Baseball, he is all about it. He's got the fire. Yeah, no, wow. So Nick is a Cubs fan, and Nick, the Cubs fan in the chat, is saying just blow it up. Because honestly, they really could use some prospects. So, but now let's go over my next option. So we'll kind of go the other way. We'll go the other way here. And now we could maybe say the Cubs, they can just stay in win now mode. Now the Cubs, so I'm probably going to be making a video soon on how to fix the Cubs. So I'm not sure if me personally, I'll go over what I think soon, what I think the Cubs should do. But I think the Cubs, they could stay where they're at. They could stay put. They could go for it this year. Why not? Just go for it. If we were to take a look at kind of what the Cubs could use. So taking a look, let me come back to you. So let's take a look here at what the Cubs could really use to get themselves back into the World Series. So there are a few people I saw picking the Cubs to get to the World Series this year. I don't think they're too far off. So if we were to take a look here at where the Cubs kind of ranked. So the Cubs, when it came to batting, when it came to offense, the Cubs, they weren't terrible when it came to offense. Actually, no, let me pick offense. Where are you at, Cubbies? So actually, no, I take that back. So the Cubs offense, it only ranked 22nd. Not very good. As you can see, though, it seemed like a lot of guys had down years. So really, realistically, if you had a full season, the Cubs got hot with more games in a 162 game season. Maybe you could see the Cubs offense more like middle of the road, I would say. I think a lot of this is just these guys are just slumping. But I think the Cubs, they could use some juice when it comes to offense. If we were to go take a look at maybe some guys that could really fit in. If we were to take a look here, Cubs right now. So taking a look. Actually, no, I want to do position by position. So where were the Cubs not very good offensively? Kind of what was their downfall? I mean, it seemed like they were kind of all over the place. We're going to take a look at first base, Anthony Rizzo. Where did they rank offense-wise? So they were 19th, and that was kind of with a slightly down year from Anthony Rizzo. Where the Cubs could use some offense is second base. Now, the guy that sticks out right now, if you take a look, where were the Cubs last year? Actually, the Cubs ranked 11th last year. So, they had guys like, Jason Kipnis, Nico Horner. Not really too much power there. More, and kind of the low batting averages a little bit. It seemed like the Kipnis had a decent WRC plus. I don't know. If I take a look actually at what was the OPS looking like for Kipnis? 744 OPS. Horner just had a bad year last year. So they could use an upgrade. Maybe they don't think Nico is quite ready yet. And they could go, the guy that immediately jumps off the page for this free agent market is DJ LeMahieu. So if we were to take a look here at 2021 MLB free agents by position. So right now, if I had to take a look at second baseman, I mean, the guy that really, like I said, he jumps off the page. DJ LeMahieu, one of the best players in the game. DJ LeMahieu was traded away by the Cubs not too long ago. So maybe DJ LeMahieu could make his return to Wrigley Field. So there are some options here. I mean, if I were to kind of look here, maybe like a Tommy La Stella could be good. Tommy La Stella, he had a pretty solid year last year. Maybe a Colton Wong. He's more defense though. But yeah, I think if you could get a guy like a DJ LeMahieu, I think that offense is going to be a lot better. I think he's the kind of guy that's going to kind of make your offense kind of go a little more. He's a guy that gets on base. He gets the hits. He can set guys up to succeed. So he's a table setter kind of a guy. He's an on-base kind of a guy. He's going to give you some pretty good defense. Not the best defense out there, but he'll get the job done. He could also move around. So if a guy like, Chris Bryant needs a day off here or there, Anthony Rizzo needs a day off, he could jump in at either of those positions. So DJ LeMahieu, this is a guy that would instantly improve this Cubs offense. If we were to take a look, I mean, third base, they're pretty, let's say they stick with Chris Bryant, they stick with Javier Baez. Taking a look at like outfielders for the Cubs. Taking a look. No. What are we doing? Actually, here, I'll just go outfield. So they had Jason Hayward, Ian Happ, Kyle Schwarber. These guys, I think, are fine. I think it's not the best defensive outfield, but Ian Happ, he was having a pretty good start to last year, and then he faded. So Jason Hayward actually was having an okay year. He had a pretty high on-base percentage, 392. Batting average, you'd like to see a little better. Slugging, you would like to see maybe a smidge better. Not the worst by any means, but you would like to see a little more there. I mean, so if they really, I don't know, if they wanted to maybe look into some outfielders. I mean, I don't know if a George Springer is going to go there. Maybe you could bring in someone like a Kevin Pillar for the bench, coming off. I don't know, maybe you could look at a Yasiel Puig that could maybe come in and do something. There's not too much out here when it comes to offense. If they do get a DH, you could look into maybe like a Nelson Cruz. I think Nelson Cruz with the Cubs would be really fun. Maybe you bring in a Marcell Ozuna. I don't know. There's not really too much wiggle room when it comes to the Cubs offense. They're pretty set in their positions. But if you do get the DH, you could see maybe like a Nelson Cruz. That could be really fun, if you ask me. Nelson Cruz at Wrigley Field, I think that'd be a lot of fun. So the Cubs last year, when it came to pitching, though, so I think the Cubs definitely could use a little more offense. I think a perfect piece would be DJ LeMahieu, in my opinion. Now, if you take a look at the starting pitching, that's kind of what the Cubs were really relying on last year. So the Cubs had some good starting pitching last year, led by Yu Darvish, had a Cy Young worthy season. Kyle Hendricks was really good last year. Tyler Chatwood, he kind of fell off a lot, but he ended up kind of disappearing. I think didn't he go down with Tommy John? John Lester, he got off to a pretty good start, and then he just kind of faded. John Lester is just not what he used to be. I don't know if he just needs a fresh start somewhere else. Alec Mills, he had the no-hitter. But Alec Mills, look at that FIP, a 5.44 FIP, not really a lot of strikeouts. I mean, people kind of classify Alec Mills as like a junk ball kind of a guy. He had the no-hitter, so that was pretty cool. Jose Quintana, he was pretty much a lost cause last year. But you got Yu Darvish and Kyle Hendricks at the top. Maybe you could bring in another guy that could, maybe like right off the top, at the top of the screen, Charlie Morton, bring him in on like a 1 or 2 year deal. He could end up being pretty good. A Jake Odorizzi. I don't know if they go after a Trevor Bauer. I mean, who knows, maybe. Marcus Stroman's already off the board. Maybe you could bring in a James Paxton if you don't want to bring Lester back. Maybe you think James Paxton has a lot to offer. Maybe you could bring him back. Maybe you could try again with Jose Quintana. I don't know. There's a lot of things that you could do if you're the Cubs for starting pitching. So I think Charlie Morton in a Cubs uniform would be pretty fun, if you ask me. I don't know if Rick Porcello is going to give you all that much. I mean, there's some guys that could maybe come in here and provide something. But when I'm looking at impact kind of stuff, I don't know. Maybe James Paxton could be pretty fun. He had a down year this year, had some back stuff going on. But maybe James Paxton could be pretty cool in Wrigley Field. I don't know. The idea of Charlie Morton in Wrigley, that in a Cubs uniform, kind of excites me. I don't know why, but maybe that could be pretty fun. Maybe a Tanaka in Chicago. Maybe a Masahiro Tanaka. He would bring us some postseason experience. I think Tanaka would be a really solid number 3 in that rotation. That could be pretty fun. So, I don't know. There's a lot of things that the Cubs could do for starting pitching. When it comes to bullpen, if we're taking a look, I mean, they definitely didn't have the best bullpen last year. Actually, if I were to go take a look at where they were at last year, I don't think they ranked very well when it came to bullpen. Taking a look, where were they at? They were 18th. So I definitely think they could use more, another couple of guys in there. So if we're going to take a look at some relief pitchers, there's some good ones out there. Liam Hendricks to me is the top guy. Could you bring in a guy like Liam Hendricks? I don't know. Kirby Yates, I think that could be kind of fun. Maybe Brad Hand would be helpful. Maybe a guy like Brandon Workman. I don't know. He has ties to Jed Hoyer. Maybe Brandon Workman would be a good fit there. You know, you got some solid setup guys here. And Alex Colon, maybe he goes from the south side of Chicago to Wrigley Field. That could be fun. There's some guys here. Shane Green. There are some guys that the Cubs could bring in. If they really want to go win now, if they say, you know what, no, we're going for this. We're going for a World Series. I think there are some guys that you could bring in. So tell me what you think. Nick Calamino, what I'm looking at right now is MLB.com. I'm not sure if you were talking about this. This is Fangraphs right here. So the other website that I was using earlier was baseballtradevalues.com. But yeah, so but what do you think, everyone in the chat? What do you all think? Do you think the Cubs should just go win now? Do you think the Cubs, they see their window could be closing? Do you think they should just go for it? Jordan Jones, Chris Archer could be fun too. Do you think the Cubs should just go for it right now? You know what? Use what they have. They got Anthony Rizzo. They got Chris Bryant. They got a good core still. So do you think the Cubs should just go for it? What do you think in the chat? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a yes. Give me a no. What do you think? What do you think? I'll take a look at some comments. Campan Baseball is saying no. Philip Castillo is saying no. Wait, Philip, you said yes, please, and then you said no. I'm not really sure. The Cubs don't know how to spend money. Yeah, Theo Epstein. You're going to see Theo Epstein. With the Red Sox, he made a couple of good signings. He made some good trades, but he made some bad ones too. And that's kind of a lot of good, GMs as well. They're not going to hit on everything. So that's kind of with the Red Sox. When they signed Carl Crawford to that massive contract back in 2011, I was thinking, what the heck, Theo Epstein? What are you doing? So, oh, Philip, I see what you're saying. Hey, what's going on, Puppets? How you doing? So yeah, I'm seeing some more no's towards the Cubs going for it. I think that's what I'm seeing more of. Amazing baseball plays. You think that they should just go for it. So, hey, I think the Cubs, they have the money. They could do it. I think we could definitely see the Cubs maybe go for it. But we're kind of where I'm at. This is the next option that I think the Cubs have. I'm always kind of an in-the-middle kind of a guy. I'm always a happy medium kind of a guy. I'm looking at simply just a retool. Maybe you could trade a couple of these guys. Maybe you could hang on to some of these guys. I think a retool could be really good for the Cubs. I think they need some prospects. I think they definitely could use some more life in that farm system. But I think with the Cubs, I think they have a pretty good set of players already. Now, if we were to go take a look at kind of where the Cubs are at, if we were to take a look here, let me share my screen. That's not the right one. So if we were to take a look here, back to the Cubs, hold on. Cubs, salaries and contracts. So if you were to maybe like pick and choose, right? So you got Darvish, you got Hendricks for a couple of years, you got Hayward. Hayward, you're not going to get rid of unless like you just get rid of bad contract for bad contract. I mean, I don't know. I'm one of these guys that loves to look for the crazy kind of trades. Maybe a Jason Hayward. You can throw in other pieces and maybe bring in Giancarlo Stanton from the Yankees. I don't know. So probably not going to happen, but it's kind of fun to think about. But I think if you're the Cubs, maybe you pick and choose. Who would you, if you were to pick two of these guys, who would you keep? Me personally, I'm keeping Javier Baez and Anthony Rizzo. I'm keeping those two guys. I would let Kyle Schwarber go. Chris Bryant, that's a tough one with Chris Bryant. That's a tough one. I don't know. I said Javier Baez and Anthony Rizzo. I'm keeping Javier Baez. You know, I love the glove. It's not very often that you get a good glove at shortstop like that has some power. He can drive in some runs. Maybe I'm biased because Anthony Rizzo was with the Red Sox at one point. I want Chris Bryant to do good. I like Chris Bryant. I think he's really good. But I'm seeing these like numbers going down, and Anthony Rizzo is pretty steady. Again, if I were to go to Anthony Rizzo, I just like what he does every year. He's always getting like 30 home runs, 100 RBIs. He's always a Gold Glove. I don't know. I'm sticking Javier Baez and Anthony Rizzo. I'm sorry, Chris Bryant. Like, I want you to do well, my friend. I want you to prove me wrong, but you're just, I don't know. You had a good 2019 season, but I am afraid of that hard hit ball percentage. I don't know. Is there something going on with your wrist, my guy? I don't know what's going on. Did you break your leg and you're not telling anyone? I have no idea, Chris Bryant. But man, when I look at Anthony Rizzo, actually, let me pull up Anthony Rizzo on Baseball Savant. No, I don't want Anthony. Oh, I didn't type in Rizzo. I just typed in Anthony. If I were to look up Anthony Rizzo, I'm sure these numbers are probably okay. Oh, wow. He actually didn't rank very good in exit velocity or hard hit ball percentage at all. The stats are still pretty good. He doesn't strike out very much. It's crazy that he's not very good when it comes to outs above average, but Fangraphs has him as I guess maybe first basemen aren't really going to have a high outs above average just because they're a first baseman. So, I don't know. He doesn't strike out very much. He's always a pretty good on-base kind of guy. So, over his career, he has a 372 on base. That's pretty good. An OPS of 857 over his career. If I were to take a look at the barrels, or actually, let me take a look at hard hit ball percentage. His hard hit ball percentage has actually gone down the last couple of years. I don't know. It's interesting. It was pretty good back in 2018. His barrels actually went up. The barrel percentage went up this year. So that's actually gone up a little bit each year, but it's not what it used to be. I don't know. Do you hang on to Anthony Rizzo? Now that I'm looking at this stuff, I don't know. I think it's fine. I don't know. Chris Bryant scares me more. He scares me more, and I think you can find some good third basemen out there. Well, you know what? Let me actually take a look here. Let me actually go look. Cubs top prospects. Who do we got in the Cubs farm system? Do we got anyone coming up that could maybe be an option in the future? We got Ed Howard. I'm a big Ed Howard fan. I'm hoping for good things from him. I don't know. You don't really got any third basemen coming up. I mean, you got Christopher Morel, but he's pretty far away. He's in single A right now. I don't know. Is there really any first baseman? Ugh. God, this Cubs farm system. What is this? You got some decent. I'm pretty excited about Braylon Marquez. That should be fun. I'm pretty excited about Adbert Alzolay. He had some pretty nice stuff this year when I saw a couple of highlights of him. So they got some good pieces here, but man, they don't have any third basemen. They don't have any first basemen. I don't know. Like, can Miguel? No, I'm guessing you don't make him a first baseman. I don't know. Oh, no, they got Chris. Okay, so let me go take a look at Morrow. So, if you're going to take a look, so right now, where do they grade him? They have a 45 overall. He has a good arm. He's got some power. It's just his hit tool's not very good. So, if we're going to take a look at the stats, yeah, pretty low on base. 320 on base. That's not very good. 2019, he hit 284, but look at that on base. I don't like that on base very much. So he's not really jumping out to me as like someone. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Do you keep either of them? Do you let both of them go? Do you only? I'm hanging on to Javier Baez. I'm a Javier Baez fan. I know the offense wasn't great this year. I don't know. Do you just maybe let I don't know. I would say if you're going to hang on, if I'm going to pick two, I'm going to go Anthony Rizzo because I think you can replace Chris Bryant in that lineup. I like Baez and Rizzo. So if I were to, but then again, Anthony Rizzo, he could get you more back. That's the only problem. Oh, I am having trouble with this one right now, everyone, because Anthony Rizzo would most likely get you more pieces back. Chris Bryant would not. So I'm trying to think of it now where, sure, I would love to keep Rizzo, but he's going to get me more back. So I don't know. It really comes down to what the Cubs think. If you got these four, I mean, Schwarber, you're going to get a decent, you'll get something decent for him. I mean, they probably should have traded him a few years ago when this dude's value was at an all-time high. After they won the World Series, this dude, I remember all these rumors about him, and they just didn't get rid of him. They probably could have gotten something for him. He was like 24 at that time. Now he's 28. So, I don't know. I think the Cubs, they really missed out on getting a lot for Kyle Schwarber a few years ago. But, man, I don't know. Maybe you hang on to Bryant and Baez because Rizzo would get you a lot. So, and Bryant is younger by a couple of years. Oh, that's really tough, man. This is tough. But yeah, if I'm trying to go in the middle, man, happy medium is not helping me out so much. I don't know. I guess it really depends on what I would get for Rizzo. Because I know I'm not going to get anything for Chris Bryant. I'm not going to get anything for him, at least right now. I definitely won't. You maybe get something, but you wouldn't get a lot. Rizzo, I think you would get a decent amount for. Yeah. So, I don't know. Anyway, but I think if you're the Cubs, you could trade off a couple of pieces. You can hang on to Darvish. You can hang on to Hendricks. If we actually go take a look at the Cubs depth chart right now, like I said, I like I'm forgetting how to pronounce his name. Alzolay, Adbert Alzolay. I think he's going to be a good piece in this rotation next year. This guy had some pretty good stuff, man. Adbert Alzolay. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good numbers on the year. He had 4 starts. Good amount of strikeouts, too. 29 strikeouts. Is there some video I can put on? Let me actually pull him up on Baseball Savant. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted. But Adbert Alzolay. So that is something pretty exciting. They have a young starting pitcher here that could really help out next year. So that is good. He has some really good stuff. I mean, look at these numbers. So exit velocity, hard hit ball percentage, a little low. But I mean, pretty good numbers here. Barrel percentage was good. Fastball was good. Get good spin rate on the fastball. If I were to look at a random video, I don't want sound. What are we looking at here? So yeah, Alzolay, I mean, like I said, he's going to be throwing like pretty high 90s, maybe like 95, 97. I want to strike out here. So yeah, this is a couple years ago. So yeah, he's got a pretty nice slider. I mean, looking at that slider, pretty nice slider. So can I take a look at another one here? So we got Yohan Moncada on a strikeout a couple years ago. So yeah, I mean, he's got stuff that tails away. He's got a slider that can come in to lefties. I mean, he's got good velocity. Alzolay, he's going to be pretty good. I like this guy. If he can stay healthy, I think he is someone that he could be a number 3 for the Cubs next year. So I like what the Cubs have. I think the Cubs have good pitching for next year to where they can still compete. But I think they could trade some guys away too. And I think they need to make a couple of trades. I don't think they should just sit there. I think if they can play free agency pretty well, they can make a couple of trades, maybe an Anthony Rizzo. I think you could get a decent amount for Rizzo. I don't think you're going to get much for Bryant. Baez, if you're wanting to compete next year, but you're kind of just wanting to retool, I would maybe look into keeping Baez because shortstop is a hard position to come by. They have Ed Howard coming up. Ed Howard's pretty far away. You don't know where you're going to get out of Ed Howard. So I think with Baez, I think you got to kind of try and re-sign him. I think with Ed Howard, I think he's pretty far away. So there's no guarantee that he's going to even turn into anything. He was their first round pick this past year, but you never know. So I think with Javier Baez, you should hang on to him. Let me come back here. So I like Javier Baez there. I think Chris Bryant, you're not going to get much for. Anthony Rizzo, I think you could get a decent amount for. I think they should trade Kyle Schwarber. I think out of all of them, I think Kyle Schwarber is a guy you can get rid of. And I think you could get maybe a couple good prospects for him. Maybe, throw in a bullpen arm in there as well. I don't know. But that's what I would do if I were the Cubs. I would just go with a simple retool. I don't think you should go full-blown fire sale. I don't think they should just sit there and be content. I think they should make a couple of moves, maybe retool, get some prospects into that farm system, be a little excited, and then maybe revisit this again at the trade deadline, see how you're doing at the trade deadline, and if you're out of it, if you're not doing very well, see how Chris Bryant's doing. Chris Bryant, I think that's interesting. If Chris Bryant's doing well at the trade deadline, do you trade Chris Bryant at that time? I think it depends. I don't know. Chris Bryant's still a pretty good age. But he's going to be looking for something long term. But that is what I think. Tell me what you think in the chat. Do you think that the Cubs should just go for a simple retool? Give me a thumbs up if you agree. Give me a thumbs down if you think that they should either go for a fire sale or if they should just go full straight compete. What do you think? Tell me in the chat. What do you think? Orioles, Robbie, in the Yankees video, you didn't mention the slim option of them possibly trading away a star like Judge. Since free agency is coming up for him. Judge is interesting. He's just always hurt. So it's like, are our team really going to want to take him on? That's possible, though. Retool, yeah, I agree. Jordan, trade him either way. Bryant wants $15 to $20 million a year. Yeah, I would say with Bryant, I just think it's in a tough spot right now because he's not really doing much right now to entice teams to give up a lot for him. I think you have to kind of wait on him until the trade deadline, see how he kind of comes around, So, but yeah, I'm seeing some thumbs up here. I think a retool is probably the best thing. I think if you're the Cubs, if you're a Cubs fan, I don't think you should be jumping off of a bridge anytime soon. I don't think you need to trade away everyone and just bring in a whole bunch of prospects. I still think you can have a fun team next year. You just have to play free agency well. You have to make the right trades. Jed Hoyer was with the Red Sox for a while. I think Jed Hoyer is a good person to have in that spot instead of Theo Epstein. If there's any guy that could take over for Theo Epstein, Jed Hoyer is that guy. So if you're a Cubs fan, you should be happy about Jed Hoyer being in that spot. So, but yeah, everyone, that's all I have for tonight. Not a long stream tonight. So, hey, I appreciate all of you coming out tonight. It's going to be exciting to see what the Cubs end up doing. But if there are more news tomorrow, I will be back here tomorrow night. So everyone, I appreciate you coming out. Again, before I get out of here, I just posted my How to Fix the New York Yankees video. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. Before I get out of here, if you can, hit that thumbs up for me. And if you are just joining, we had a few subscribers come in tonight. Thank you again for subscribing. But if you are just coming in and you have not hit that subscribe button, and if you are looking for more baseball content, definitely think about hitting that subscribe button. We're talking baseball here all the time, especially with the live streams. I'm loving the live streams lately. I love the news aspect of it. But yeah, so everyone, thank you again for coming in, and I will talk to you next time.